Hey everyone, John Henry here from School of Trade, and today we're going to be taking a look at a long trade here on the NASDAQ, kind of a fun little market here. First target coming off at 45.43 and 3/4. Next target coming off, let's go to 45.46 and 3/4, and then the final target, we're going to look for 45.50 flat. So the whole morning, the NASDAQ has been rising higher, and we've been waving our way out. And overall, I mean, if you zoom out on the day, you'll notice one really big thing. We're just kind of range bound, right? We're just kind of rotating back and forth. We came off the highs, down to the lows, double bottomed a little bit down there, went back up to the highs, and now we're looking for a high test. Now, that's kind of the reason why I'm looking for a long trade here, because we haven't gotten it yet, right? The overall high of the day is up here yet, and we have yet to reach that level. Now, you could look at this and say, all right, well, I want to lock my target in here a little bit or lock it in here. But typically, when we rotate off one end of the day, go back to the other, it's going to break through that level. And so looking for a little bit of a larger runner is an option. Now, I'm looking primarily at 46.75, and I may take this 45.50 off at that level. I'm still not super sure about looking for a big runner up to the highs there, but for sure looking for this 45.46 and 3/4 level. After that, you know, if we see it stall out at that level, then yeah, we'll definitely just take our profit there and call it good. But overall, right now, everything looking really solid. Looking poised to get back up to those highs, and we've got a beautiful wave setup to hop in on board with this move. So from our entry here at 41 3/4, our first target's coming off at 2 points. Our second target coming off a little bit higher up here at 46 3/4 at 5 points, and then looking for a final move all the way back up to the highs here at 50, if we can get that one hit, for 8 1/4 points. Now, the NASDAQ does tick a little bit cheaper. So the first target taking 2 off at 2 points, that gives us 4 points, plus another 5 points and another 8 1/4 points. That's 17 1/4 points at 4 ticks per point. Now, every single one of these ticks in this case is worth $5. So we're looking at $345 to the upside if we can get this move going. Now, because of the size of the trade and the fact that it is a little bit smaller, you could easily hop in with more contracts. Instead of 4, maybe trade 8 instead, you know, look for a bigger position. But I'm just kind of looking at this as the termination of the move. I'm not expecting a massive move, but expecting a halfway decent one. Now, what we've been seeing so far we've kind of seen all week and even last week as well, where these swing lows have been very important levels of support and resistance. And when they're broken, that's usually where we start seeing the market turn around. So instead of trailing our stop immediately to break even, because we've been seeing these deep pullbacks, even right here, they come back really deep. I don't want to move my stop to break even because I'm probably just going to get stopped out. So after we get that first target met, I'm going to leave my stop underneath this swing and just kind of trail on the way up until either we get stopped out or we get our targets filled. But you can see that all the way to the downside, even the deep, you're seeing these deep pullbacks right here where they're coming back very far. And even if they do break a prior swing, it only goes down by 1 tick. So I want to make sure that I give this one a little bit of room, but along with that, I don't want to choke the trade out either, because we have been seeing very deep pullbacks every single time. So we've got our target filled, but again, I don't want to go to break even because I'm probably just going to get stopped out anyway. So we'll leave our stop back here at 39 1/4. That does take a little bit of excess risk on the trade at 2 1/2 points versus taking a target at 2 points. But at the same time, that also opens the door to us being able to pull out that big, 17, 18 point move total on the way up. So I'm willing to accept a little bit of risk on this trade, just assuming that we're going to get probably a deep pullback on this move back. And that may allow us to keep a bigger move. Now, again, this is always the case. You're more than welcome to go to break even. We've got our first target taken out. You go to break even, you lock in 4 points, you call it good. Nice trade, you're done. In this case, I'm going to try to give it a little bit more room, see if we can get that move going up to 46 3/4. And after we get 46 3/4 hit, then we'll move our stop to possibly break even, or at least start trailing along with those stops. But at least that way we know we've got the movement going in our direction. So right now, just kind of sitting on hands, waiting for the move to work out. We're seeing it do what we want it to do. It's just a matter of breaking this high here at 45.44 3/4. Otherwise, we're probably going to see a little bit of a pullback here. Not a huge surprise, since that's what we've seen every single time. So give us a little bit of time, see if we can get this move going, and we'll be back in a little bit. All right, getting a nice push through the highs here. Let's lock our stop in a little bit closer to 45.39 and 3/4. There we go. We got that second target filled. So now here again, we have an option. We can either go to break even, or we can just say, well, you know, we've got that second target locked in. We've got the first 2 points. Oh, look at that. We already tested the last target. We haven't filled it yet, but we are testing it. So because it's testing that final target, oh, never mind. We already got that target filled. I was going to say that moved really quick. It tested, never filled. Going to move the stop a little bit closer. But we got our move all the way back up to the upside. Beautiful move. And again, using that information that the market gave us earlier, expecting that deeper pullback, kept us out of getting stopped out, right? We got our entry. We got our first target met, no problem. We left our stop back to give the market the room it needed to get that deeper pullback out of the way, and then it shot right back up to the highs. Now, if you were the type of person who, you know, you just want to go to break even, you want to work on building that account, then by all means, perfect. You locked in 4 points, 2 contracts off of the first one, and you're sitting in a nice position. But doing so sometimes is almost more detrimental than anything else, because you choke the stop out and then you don't ride out these bigger moves like this. And so there are definitely several ways to trade this type of move, and depending on where your account is, you might still be in the building phase, and it makes more sense to, you know, lock your stop in where you can. But in this case, we were able to ride this whole thing out, $345 on the trade. Beautiful move to the upside. Only 4 contracts, so you don't have to have a lot of money to be trading the NASDAQ, that's for sure, and you can still lock in some pretty solid profit. So that's going to be the trade. If you have any questions about it, feel free to send an email to School of Trade. Don't forget to check out our trial at schooloftrade.com. And as always, we'll catch you next time.